Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about 6 types of toxic mother-daughter relationships. 6 types of unhealthy mother-daughter relationships. This video is not to talk bad about mothers, to demonize mothers, to make you feel hatred towards your mother. I'm not telling you that your mother do not love you in this video. Most of my videos are just to create awareness and to share insights about what could be happening to you in your personal life, in your relationships, and so on. Right? So, one of the first toxic mother-daughter relationship we could have is when our mother is dismissive. Dismissive mother. When you have a dismissive mother, she is unable to show empathy for you. If you probably experience bad treatment or an unfortunate situation or something happened to you that created stress and frustration within you, and you try to express this to her, she might say things like, "It's not that bad. You're overreacting. Stop complaining," or you're too sensitive. Others have it worse than you, and things like that, she would say if she's a dismissive mother. She's emotionally absent. She ignores your emotions. She don't have time for you. She always says that she's busy. She act cold towards you. She act distracted when you are talking to her. She might look like she's not interested in what you're saying. During interactions, she looks like she's not interested in what you're saying. She could be distracted. Right? She can actively reject you when you want to get close to her. Right? And all of these actions can make you feel really unworthy of her attention. If your mother is dismissive, you could feel like you don't matter, or you don't exist, or you're not worthy enough to get her attention and her love. It seems like she always have more important things to do than to be with you and to show interest in you and to raise you. Right? She would ignore your achievements, ignore your success. She probably never tell you that she's proud of you or she's happy for you when good things happen in your life. She could downplay your success, put down your success, and that could make you feel really insecure about yourself. She could also make you feel jealous for others who have different types of success than you, right? Maybe she asks you what you want to eat, where you want to go, what clothes do you want to wear, but in the end, she ignores your requests and she do whatever she wants, right? So those are some characteristics of a dismissive mother. And having a dismissive mother can affect you, and the effects are, well, you would have low self-esteem. You could develop low self-esteem. That is where you lack confidence in your abilities. You have negative opinions about yourself. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you deserve respect. You feel unworthy and you feel like you're not valuable. That's having low self-esteem. You doubt yourself constantly. Having a dismissive mother could make you just feel unworthy for love and attention. You feel like you're not worthy enough for love and attention. And then you could be desperate for love and attention. There could be an amped up need for love in your life, thirsting for love and attention. And then you could try to argue with her and ask her why she does not love you, why she does not pay attention to you, arguing with her, right? Or you might try to get high grades, try to get all A's in exam or whatever in your academics, trying to get attention, right? And you could grow up and you have difficulty making decisions. You could be people pleasing. You could be codependent. You could sabotage yourself at work, in relationships. You could be blaming yourself for everything just because of this toxic relationship you have with your mother, where she has been dismissive. You could develop an insecure attachment style where you become avoidant or insecure or anxious attachment style, right? Or you could develop trust issues where you believe that everybody's going to betray you. You're always gonna be abandoned. People are out there trying to manipulate you. All of these things can happen to you when you have a dismissive mother. Second type of toxic mother-daughter relationship could be your mother is very controlling. Your mother is strict. She never gives you the opportunity to make decisions, to make choices. She dismisses your opinions, your ideas, your perspective, right? She refuses to acknowledge the validity of your choice, of your words. She's very demanding, unusual and overwhelming demands she would have on you. She micromanage your life. She make all decisions for you, right? And then she would say that she's doing it for your own good, right? And then this is actually indirectly saying to you that you are inadequate and that you cannot be trusted to make good decisions, right? It is showing to you indirectly that you might not have good judgment and that you could fail without her. You might feel that you would fail in life without her, right? She would decide what college you're going to, decide who you're going to date, decide what you're going to wear, and all of these things. And it would affect you. How? Low self-esteem, again, low self-esteem, lack of confidence. You think bad about yourself. You might have a hard time making decisions because you are not allowed to make them on your own. You devalue your own opinions, your own ideas, and your own views because she is placing her own ideas on you, right? You might just stay in your comfort zone. You don't try new things. You always depend on her. You fear going out of your comfort zone and trying new things, right? And this prevents you from learning skills that you need to thrive as an adult. You doubt yourself. You feel burnt out sometimes because you're trying to live up to her high demands. You could get angry. You could just be an angry person. You're full of resentment because your mother is so strict and so controlling, right? And having a strict mother, very controlling mother, could actually instill this helplessness within you. You feel insecure about yourself and about your life. You feel like you cannot make the right decisions. You feel like you lack good judgment, right? The third toxic mother-daughter relationship would be your mother is emotionally unavailable, emotionally distant, emotionally absent. Why she might be like this? Well, maybe because your mother is depressed. Your mother could be exhausted from work. Your mother could have had a very bad childhood. Maybe your mother just lacked knowledge about emotional needs and how a parent-child relationship should look like, right? But having an emotionally unavailable mother could really affect you. She's insensitive to your emotional experiences as a child, inconsistent with showing love and with showing comfort. She lacks compassion for you. She does not understand you. She lacks empathy and sympathy for you when you are stressed, when you are frustrated, going through a hard time, when you have obstacles in your life. There's no empathy, there's no compassion, and there's no understanding for you. Also, when she's emotionally distant, there's no hugs, there's no comforting when you are upset or crying, right? She's unresponsive to your crying. And when you display negative emotions and you look stressed or you feel frustrated, she might not respond to you, right? And it could be really confusing to you because They would appear to be involved in your life, providing financial resources and ensuring that you get an education, and you could still feel unloved because she doesn't really know who you are for real, right? So that could be really confusing as a child, right? And you might fake being sick because if you're sick, she would pay attention to you and show you love and comfort you. Or you might just be a really troublemaker at home or at school because you want some sort of attention from her, right? And this could really affect you, especially growing up. You would have trust issues, this deep fear of betrayal. You think that people are not going to be there for you, people are going to abandon you, people are going to manipulate you. You would have low self-esteem, you would lack self-confidence because there's no positive reinforcement, there's no guidance, right? You could also have trouble in sustaining connections with friends, in romantic relationships. You would have trouble identifying how you feel because she was not there to help you walk through emotions. You might be suppressing your feelings in childhood because you don't know if she's going to be there for you. You don't know how she's going to react, right? And you grow up and you could be looking for love and attention desperately, and you look for that in guys, or you argue with her trying to get love and attention. And we could also develop insecure attachment style where we could be avoidant or we could be anxious, right? You could also experience a lot of frustration in your life, confusion within yourself. You could become also needy and clingy in relationships, or maybe you avoid love, you avoid dating, right? You might need constant reassurance if you are with someone in a romantic relationship, right? It could also affect you where you just have a poor bond, a poor connection with your mother, right? The fourth unhealthy mother-daughter relationship would be enmeshed mother. You and your mother are sisters. You and your mother are best friends, right? Your mom can really depend on you for emotional support, and it's really inappropriate as a young child to have your mother depending on you for emotional support. You act like best friends, you act like your relationship look like you are sisters. There's loose boundaries, sometimes there's no boundaries. Your mother go in your phone, check your messages, your mother go in your journal, your mother go in your diary, your mother is in your phone, checking your emails, messages, whatever, right? There's a very low level of privacy with her physically and emotionally, right? You and your mother lack clear boundaries. Sometimes you're taking care of your mother, sometimes she take care of you. That could be really stressful and you could be burnt out doing that, right? Your mother is excessively involved in your activities, in your achievement. When you have an enmeshed mother, your mother texts your boyfriend trying to know what is going on in the relationship. Your mother still talk to your ex-partners, right? Your mother is on social media following the same people that you're following. You have the same friends on social media, right? Having an enmeshed mother means that your mother depends on you for friendship, for companionship, for entertainment, for support, right? She's over involved in your life. We don't know, your mother might lack a romantic partner, or your mother might have low self-esteem or something like that. But having an enmeshed mother can really affect you. You can feel responsible for your mother's happiness, for her well-being. You feel like you need to take care of your mother as a young child. You might be afraid of conflict because you cannot disagree with her, but then you and her are like sisters. That could be really confusing and difficult. And when you grow up and you seek out romantic relationships, you might want to take care of your partner so much, right? Or you might avoid relationships because you think that it would be so exhausting that you need to take care of them emotionally constantly. And you could develop, again, low self-esteem, lack self-confidence, right? Because you deeply relied on your parents for approval, right? You lack self-identity. You don't know who you are. It's difficult to be independent and to express yourself as an individual because your mother feelings, you share your feelings with your mother. Everything you're sharing with your mother, you're constantly with your mother, so you don't know who you are. And you could become a people pleaser because you're always trying to please your mother, take care of your mother excessively. And you could grow up and you continue trying to take care of everyone, people pleasing, right? This could really affect you because you would not get direction and support or the tools that you need to become a confident and a self-sufficient adult, right? You could also feel really violated and disempowered or constantly having your mother in your life, right? The fifth toxic or unhealthy mother-daughter relationship would be if you have a narcissistic mother. Your mother is a narcissist. Her needs are more important, her desires are more important than anyone else, right? They think that they are superior, they think that they are more important and that they are entitled to have anything that they want, right? They are incapable of showing empathy. They disregard your emotions. They tell you how you should feel, what you should think. They punish you if you have your own thoughts, if you have your own unique thoughts, if you have your own feelings, opinions, your own views or perspective on something. They will punish you if your mother is a narcissist. They force certain ideas on you. If she were a dancer, you should be a dancer, right? Have high expectations for you. And also, if your mother is a narcissist, she shows off your attributes, tell others about your skills and your achievements, just so they could admire her, and just so she could show what an excellent job she did in raising you, right? So the connection is really superficial, right? She's really concerned about how others look at the family, not necessarily how you feel about her. And usually your mother is really attractive and charming and talented and has a good career, and that could confuse you because at home she's not praising you or paying attention to your emotional needs, but in public she's trying to show your achievements, right? Talking about your skills and so on and so forth. So there are more things that narcissistic mother will do, and that would be she will just lack insight on how her behavior would affect you and how her behavior affect your sisters and your brothers. She could be manipulative and try to control how you feel just so she could feel good about herself, right? It seems like if you are in a constant battle to get love and attention, you probably will never get the love and attention that you need if your mother is a narcissist, right? There would also be excess dependency on you, right? They would want you to take care of them physically, emotionally, and financially, and might say things like how they sacrifice so much for you, and they cannot live without you, and the least you could do is stay with them or give them this amount of money and certain things like that, right? They are self-absorbed with their own lives. They have no emotional capacity to raise you properly, right? They take time for their career, for their friends, for their romantic relationships, for their hobbies, but not time for you. Narcissistic mothers could also gaslight you a lot, you know. They might be saying that they're just being sarcastic when they say something to hurt you, that they are just joking, or that they never said that. They could be straight out lying, trying to make you feel wrong, or trying to make you feel like a bad person, just to have power over you and to control you, right? Another thing that you will see when you have a narcissistic mother is that the love is conditional. When you follow the rules and you meet their expectations, then they love you and then they show that they like you. But other than that, it seems like if they're not paying attention to you, or that they don't care when you make a mistake and when you're not following the rules, right? They try to manipulate you, try to change how you feel, try to change how you think, try to change your behavior, just so she could feel good about herself, and so she could feel like she have a benefit or control over you, right? She control you, and it's just to make herself feel good, and is not necessarily caring about your emotions, right? Effects of having a narcissistic mother, it could be a lot. You could feel really confused and alone and afraid while growing up. Obviously, you will have low self-esteem. You could have low self-worth. You feel like you're not good enough most of the time. You would lack identity, right? You grow up trying to cater to your parents and trying to meet their standards, and you lose yourself, you lose your identity because you're so focused on their rules and on them. You're trying to please them constantly, striving to meet your needs of your mother, right? You could also be indecisive. You had little say growing up. You couldn't make decisions and you couldn't make your own choices. So when you grow up, it would be like you'll be indecisive, right? Because she criticized you for your own opinions, for your own feelings, for your own perspective. So now you're indecisive and you can't make your own decisions. You doubt yourself, right? You could also become a narcissist yourself, which would be horrible. But that is one effect. You could become a narcissist. Also, you would have problems when you're dating and in an intimate relationship. You could either be avoiding love, or you're chasing love, or you're clingy and needy, right? Sometimes you could also believe that love is conditional. If you're in a romantic relationship, you might think, if I do this, and I agree with him and I follow these rules, then he will love me, right? And also, you could have a high tolerance in accepting verbal abuse and manipulation in relationship, because you have been accepting that growing up. You could be regularly blaming yourself. You could have developed an insecure attachment style where you're avoidant, or you could be anxious, right? Other things, you could be more prone to anxiety, depression, eating disorders, abusing alcohol and drugs, and different personality disorders, right? The sixth toxic mother-daughter relationship, unhealthy mother-daughter relationship, is if your mother was combative or is combative with you, hypercritical of you, always blaming you, right? Always shaming you, trying to make you feel jealous of her, calling you names, yelling at you, competing with you, competing in everything within your life and her life. Maybe she's competing with you in the things that she has done in the past, and now you have a chance to do it. She's trying to show that she's better than you in different activities, right? Pointing out your flaws, constantly talking about your weaknesses, right? Trying to outdo you and compete with you with many things, trying to show maybe that she's a better mom than you, that she's a better wife than you, that she could cook better than you, that she could clean better than you, that she can dress better than you. Whatever it is, it's always a competition, right? Maybe we could just say overall your mother is just this really mean person, always fighting with you. Maybe she could even put her hands on you and be very violent and abusive, right? Or emotionally abusive towards you, talking down to you, talking bad about you, right? And this could really affect you. You could feel unworthy. You could blame yourself for everything. Even if you cannot change the situation or it's not your fault, you blame yourself. You could have low self-esteem. That's always coming up. You have a bad self-concept. You lack confidence. You lack self-love. You lack self-compassion, obviously, because being talked down to and being criticized constantly could really damage your psyche. You might be afraid of your mother because she was angry with you, aggressive with you. Maybe she put her hands on you and was very violent with you, right? And we could develop insecure attachment style. Maybe you are fearful, avoidant. You're scared of your mother. You are afraid of your mother because she's so angry and aggressive, and she probably put her hands on you, beat you, right? And being in such a stressful environment could cause you to feel really anxious and depressed, and it could be really frustrating. And you could also have conflict within yourself because maybe you become aggressive just like her and angry just like her, and you're probably not that type of person, but being around her and being around this stressful environment cause you to become so angry and aggressive and violent, right? So those were 6 unhealthy mother-daughter relationship, and there are ways to heal, right? So maybe you might choose to distance yourself from your mother, which is one way you choose to let her go. And if you choose to distance yourself, things you can do to heal and to be better is to educate yourself on this type of relationship. There are many other types of unhealthy mother-daughter relationships. These are just 6. There are many others. Maybe the relationship that you have with your mother, maybe I did not talk about it in this, but you need to educate yourself on the type of relationship you have with your mother, right? Then you could also create boundaries. You might need to tell your mother that you cannot call me 10 times throughout the day. You cannot go in my phone and read my messages. You cannot call my boyfriend to ask what is going on in relationship. You cannot follow the same people I'm following on Instagram, involving and communicating with your ex-partners and so on and so forth. You would also need to find your identity. You would need to have a sense of who you are, right? You need to know what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what clothes you want to wear, what are your values, what are your perspective and your beliefs on this. Go on trips by yourself, go on outings by yourself, get to know who you are, right? You might take a no contact approach where you just decide to not talk to your mother if she continue to disrespect you, right? I'm not telling you to stop talk to your mother, to go no contact with your mother. These are just advice that you could take. You should not use this video to diagnose yourself or to make any drastic decision, right? Most of my videos, all of them are just to create awareness and to just make it known that things could be affecting you, like within your relationships, right? So maybe you decide to seek therapy. That is one way to heal and to become better, is to seek therapy or counseling. Find better ways to cope with your past. Or you could also, another way is to find a good mentor, a other woman, maybe your auntie or somebody else who you know care about you and love you, who could mentor you. You also need to process your feelings, become aware of your own feelings, become aware of your own beliefs, become aware of your own values, right? Another way we could heal is to grieve. Grief can help us heal and help us feel unstuck. We might never get the love that we need from our mother. Our mother more than likely would not change, so we could just be sad about it for a moment or moments, however long you need to grieve, you could grieve, right? And remember that your parents, you're not responsible for your parents' behavior. Their toxic behavior is not your responsibility and it's not your fault, right? To heal, you would also need to practice self-love, self-care. I have a video on self-love. You could look at that. It's okay to feel angry, to feel hurt, and to feel disappointed about the situation, but without judging them, right? We could also communicate and confront them about the situation and what you have learned about the relationship and make your decisions from there. So you could confront them on your feelings, you could talk to them, you could express to them your decision. Maybe you decide to not interact with them so much, right? And you should be better for your own children. That is why I am making these videos, so mainly so you could be better for your own children, so we could break this generational cycle of passing down trauma and all of these toxic behaviors, right? Maybe some of you would decide to work on it, work on your relationship with your mother. And some things you can do if you decide to work on the relationship, if you believe that you can work on the relationship, you might need to listen more, find common interests and communicate, learn to forgive your mother, set boundaries. You might need to go to therapy together, and you have the opportunity to talk about your childhood and how it has shaped you, how it has shaped the way you think, you feel, how you feel. And both of you could be vulnerable and express your true feelings, and the counselor or therapist or whatever could help you work through this, right? So we all need praise when we are young. We all need to be hugged, to be kissed, to have positive reinforcement in our life. We need to be heard, we need to feel that we matter, we need to feel that we are important. And when we don't get these emotional needs, trauma is created in our life. We have a hard time saying no when we grow up. We have a higher chance of developing anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, maybe in our childhood or in adulthood. If something happened to you in the past and it's still affecting you now, for example, maybe you were assaulted, maybe you were sexually abused, maybe you were in a disaster, whatever happened to you, and if it's still affecting you and it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you're still avoiding this person because it would remind you of the event, or you avoid this place because it would remind you, or you smell something and you have reminders of the maybe natural disaster, whatever had happened to you that could create trauma or post-traumatic stress disorder in childhood. Maybe it didn't affect you in childhood, and in adulthood you have nightmares or dreams, whatever it is. We need to work on that. You could be prone to drug abuse, alcohol abuse. You could have difficulty in your relationships, in your romantic relationships. You could have a hard time being yourself, right? You could be constantly believing that people is going to abandon you, manipulate you. You probably have an insecure attachment style. Problems obviously would come up in dating and romantic relationships, right? You could also abuse your children. So this video is to create awareness. It's not to diagnose any problem. I am not a doctor. You should never use my videos to diagnose or to make any drastic decision. I'm just creating awareness and giving my insight and trying to educate you on certain things that could be affecting you within family or relationships, right? So those are the 6 types of toxic mother-daughter relationships. And yes, they created trauma. We probably have trauma in our lives and we need to work on it. Those are some tips you can use to work on it. If it's very severe, obviously you probably need to go to therapy and so on and so forth. So that's the end of this video. I hope this helped and see you in the next video.